catch Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.
Tune in. We are back, family. This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. And we didn't get to do our usual pre-show banter. So, what's up to the TikTok family and the Facebook family? What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Of course, I am JR, and my lovely daughter and co-host, Charlie, is over there on the other side. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, Dad. Good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm above ground, so it's a good day. No
Yes, it is.
complaints whatsoever. So you were traveling around a little bit today, huh?
Yeah, Waco, and I had a chauffeur, and it was nice.
Oh, a chauffeur?
Yeah.
See, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like you.
Yes. AKA Mom. No. She drove me down to Waco.
That's all right. That's all right. The wheels was rolling and you wasn't driving.
I wasn't driving. That's all that matters.
So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of the housekeeping out of the way. Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR is brought to you by Kiss Wealth Now.
That's
You're
correct.
taking care of not a little bit, not some, not half, but all of your commercial and residential real estate needs. Charlie, tell them how to get to Kiss Wealth Now.
Well, I would love to. So you can reach me 24/7 on my website, which is kisswealthnow.com. And we're just here trying to make sure that everybody gets a piece of the pie, so to speak. Homeownership is important, and it's definitely a must-have to invest in yourself. So don't have any money, don't worry about it. Low credit, it's okay. We have a lot of programs out there for you right now. Look at Toot My Own Horn.
Yeah.
I know State of Texas, number 12 now.
Number
12
now?
out of 3,000.
But you were 6 last year.
6 last year.
Yeah.
I need y'all, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Look at transparency. Y'all need to call me.
That's right.
So I can get back up. And then, agent-wise, in the top 10%. So definitely we're helping a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
So y'all call me.
And also brought to you by Kiss Health Now, because
That's
your
right.
health is your wealth.
Definitely.
I don't care if you got $1 gazillion. If you can't get out of bed and spend it, I
Right.
guarantee you somebody else will spend it for you.
Sure will. Yes, exactly.
So you want to be healthy enough to spend your own money.
That's right.
Love yourself. Take care of yourself. I'm going to go ahead and really quickly introduce our alter egos, the Speaking the Facts crew, the Fly Guy and the Fly Girls. And, of course, don't call it a comeback because I've been fly. And we have Fly Money over there on the other
That's right.
side.
Got the money.
And Kim, our producer, who is dutifully tidying up the mess that I made, AKA This Shit's Fly. What's up, Kim? Hey. Oh, she got silent over here. She's closer to the mic. You notice that?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That's right.
We got a little bit of the audience in the back. So what's up, y'all? We got a little bit of,
Which I love, yes. Yes.
So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce this week's guest, and we have a lot of her work on the table, which I'm going to be
Yes.
showing. So
Yes, so I have Miss Moore here today. So thank you so much for coming. We're a little tardy. I don't know how many minutes behind we are, but she is an author, and we're just happy that you reached out to come share. And I'm gonna let you kind of take it from there, because I'm gonna tell you, I've been busy today. So I didn't get a chance to read everything. I'm honest. I'm not going to sit here and flub, So you can tell everybody about yourself today.
Okay. As you said, I'm Marcina Moore. I'm a best-selling international poet and author and NAACP nominated Image Award poet. And
love
I
that.
have my books here today. And
So if I've just picked one up, this is Whispers in the Cypress. So
that's my newest release. I just released that in Memphis in March. I
Okay.
started releasing that, and that's a Southern Gothic thriller
Love it.
in the Louisiana Bayou about Cinnamon Blaze and her supernatural journey.
okay.
So how do you, I guess, when do you start writing? I mean, that's something that we're taught to do, right? We got to go to school. So we have to learn how to write. But as far as, actually becoming a poet and an author, kind of what inspired you? What did you want to get out there?
Honestly, I was going through a separation in 2010, divorce, and I was writing my poetry. And my first book that came out, Phoenix Heart, was a collection of the poetry for 13 years. My cousin she was doing my hair, and she was like, hey, we started talking about poetry and painting, and I started reading her my poetry, and she was like, oh, you really need to publish that. And I'm like, I had thought about it in COVID. The lady I reached out to in Washington, D.C. got COVID and never heard back from her. So long story
Is she
short.
still here? I know, that's what I'm saying. She's still here. Like, did a morbid story.
Well, skirt. I don't.
She never followed up. Look, you don't hear back from me. I'm not hearing back from you.
Basically. So I was like, so 3 years later, my cousin finds this fly-by-night competition out of India, and they had me fill that out. And I was like, paying $50? I don't pay $50. Anybody who knows me, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it correct.
Right.
So God is amazing.
Yes,
He
he is.
works. One of my close friends, my editor, Joy also, her mother's Patricia Raybon, who's a journalist out of Denver, a historical award-winning novelist for the past 25 years. So I had an editor turnkey. One of my friends is a graphic artist who helps me do the design and did a majority of designs, so I didn't have to pay for that.
Right.
So all I had to do was find a publisher, which is Barnes & Noble. I was able to publish through Barnes & Noble, and my first book went best-selling when I put it out. I wasn't expecting to sell 10 books.
Right.
Right.
And that's the
The
That's
Phoenix,
the Phoenix.
that's that, yeah,
That's
that's
the
the,
thing.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
so y'all, this is-
the small, I call it my baby, because the smallest one, because every
Right.
time I have a book, it's like birthing a baby.
right, exactly.
It is.
Yes.
If you're in the author world, writer world, they say it's like having a baby.
And I love that you
So-
got, pictures in here. So you're the graphic artist. So that's God is amazing. So he blessed you with a graphic artist and someone to review what you've written, right?
Oh, editor, yes.
Your editor, yes. Love
yes.
it, love it.
So
That was the
since
first
that's your
one, and it's
since that's
evolved
your
since then.
your
Right.
your just so this is your maiden voyage.
Yes, that was the first one. I'm gonna take a sip.
Is there something from this that you could read or recite?
My very first poem that I ever wrote was called Beauty. I usually can do it. So, this is not male bashing, but this is what I was going through. So
Oh, no,
At the
oh, no,
time,
I-
yeah,
this is what I was
Yeah.
going through at the time, and so it's called
Well,
Beauty.
before you read it, just let me say, and what's the song? It wasn't me.
Shaggy.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Wait a minute.
I am okay with you bashing him because it wasn't me.
and really, it isn't a bashing poem. Poetry is self-introspective. So it's called Beauty.
Okay.
Beauty, grace, angel, these were the words that he placed. He placed those words in my soul. I'm happy, smiling. I'm glowing, I'm soul. So how does an angel fall from grace? How did I lose my place? The one you cherished, the one you loved. I'm sitting here broken and torn. See, everything was perfect until I realized that beauty, grace, hell, angel was just a phrase used to create and to destroy. And all this time I realized I had been your toy. Ugliness, deceit, lies, defeat, wings clipped, earth shattering grief, broken, defeated and torn. The angel can fly no more. Beauty, grace, angel, these were the words that he placed. Poem.
Love that.
Oh,
That
yeah, I
was
love
good.
that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
very good.
That was
Yeah, you
the
gotta-
very first
know.
poem I
Yeah.
wrote.
Look, yeah, yeah.
Ever.
Mhm. Yes, I love that. Yeah. And I but it's so true how, your success, many people's success comes from a traumatic situation. Or I say all the time, really realizing that there is a need, and you realizing that need and saying, you know what, I have something to solve that. So if it's expressing yourself through the word and giving it life,
Yes.
and a way for you to cleanse your soul, for you to release and be like, here, it's done. You're not bound by that no more.
Right. When I put that out, I remember one of the first ladies that I ran across, she was like, I don't think you been through anything because you don't look like it. I said,
Well, what's it supposed to look like?
Exactly. I'm glad
Yeah.
I don't. I said, if you pick up the book, you'll see why it's bestseller. Because the book is a journey in my heart. It shows from when I was broken, then I went through betrayal, then I was healed, you know. So, yeah, the beginning starts out rocky beauty. Then I have a poem called Man Killer. And Man Killer.
That sounds like the big payback that James Brown was saying.
Yes, but it's going through a phase of 13 years, and then I finally started dating, met someone who healed me, and then towards the end of the book, one of the poems I wrote is second chances, because you know that's when I came to the realization, like, hey, are you going to be first or second? You know, I got to choose me, so don't come through my door no more, right?
Right, yeah.
And then I started healing, and then that was the segue to the next poetry book.
Gotcha.
And a lot of women, when they buy that, it's tiny but powerful. I've had women sit up there and talk to me, well, how'd you go through your divorce? Who knew I'd be a counselor for that? But, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
but they say that you really should write a book at the age of 50.
Yeah, because you have because I know I shared a video, or when I decided I was divorcing my ex-husband, I was cleaning up my phone, of course, deleting pictures of him in there, because why would you have pictures of so I'm like, delete. I'm like, I thought I deleted all these. Delete. You know, and so, but while I was doing that, I found some videos that I had purposely made, because it was like literally the day after all the uproar, right, and the drama, and so I was looking at that, and I shared my thoughts. I was like, you know, I was looking at myself, I was like, girl, you don't look nothing like what's going on right now.
Right.
So trauma, hurt, you know, healing doesn't have to look bad. You know, people feel like you need to be, you know, laying on the floor, snot coming out your nose, eyes swollen. You know, you can be going through things and not look like that. You know, the turmoil happens in different ways. Maybe you're not eating what you normally would eat. You know, maybe you don't go places you would normally go. That's kind of how I dealt with what I was going through. You know, I didn't go as many places. I was still smiling and happy, but I just didn't maybe want to be around a whole bunch of people. And then when I did, everybody was like, where you been? I was like, you know, it's kind of chill. But again, everybody heals differently.
Not me. I was out.
Right.
I was doing my karaoke.
Right.
And like I said, I was
and writing.
I was at San Antonio.
So was you writing at karaoke? No.
Well, you know what's crazy is it was poets. I was in San Antonio, so you know it's a military city, and some of my friends, we'd go to First Fridays, and it was poetry, and they were like, and my friend Bam, shout out to Bam. I know where Bam is. But he was like, share your poems, and I never would share. I didn't have it in me at that time to share, and like I say, I believe that it was a time and a place for me to share, and that was when I was supposed to share it in 2023, not 2010, 11, 12.
Exactly. There's a time. There's always in God's time.
Right.
True.
I like the fact that you talked about not just the hurt but the healing, because a lot of people, and unfortunately, you know, black people, we get hurt in a relationship, we get hurt in love, and we you know, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not going down that road ever again. You know, and then we start, you know, being the man killer or the woman killer.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what
look,
saying?
I'm gonna buy the book so I can read Man Killer. I'm like, I'm intrigued now. You know?
just let me know when you do, so I'll you know, I'm gonna be like Snagglepuss, the exit stage left. Just let me know when you read.
Right.
But oh, that was another old joke. See, I got myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because does anybody in this
Panther.
room besides me know who Snagglepuss is?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
See?
watch Snagglepuss.
I'm the only
finna be
baby in the room.
Oh, okay.
You the
Okay.
baby?
I
So-
am. I'm the
All
youngest.
right.
I'm the youngest one.
But yeah, it amazes me how
Okay.
many people choose to be miserable.
People choose not
to
to
wallow
heal.
Yeah.
in the hurt of that is caused in a moment in time. You know, now, you know, of course, healing, you know, even a wound, a deep wound doesn't heal the next day. You know,
Right,
it
right.
takes a little while.
Right.
But makes the effort to heal.
Right, and
You know,
it takes
and we have to
accountability.
do the same thing. So I was glad to hear, to hear not just your poetry, but your outlook, about the
no,
healing and the
you-
recovery.
yeah, you have to
Because
take
people need
care.
to know that there is hope, and there's faith, hope, and love. The greatest is love, but there is hope
Right.
out there after a traumatic event.
It is, and you have to take accountability because you just can't say it was one-sided, and that's where a lot of people like to say,
Oh, I gotta get
it's-
some on that now.
Oh,
I gotta
it
get
was
some on
just
that.
him. No, what did you do? I had to really do some self-introspection, right?
If you are an
And-
adult, then
Right.
you have to know that nothing in your life happens without you. You have
Right.
you have
You have a
some
part in
part
it, yeah.
in everything that happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad to hear you say that, because that means that you released the you're not playing the blame game.
Oh
you
no,
know.
we're actually my ex-husband. We're actually great friends now because during COVID, I got a call from him, and I have to say that I think that was the final thing that allowed me to close that door and cross that threshold. He called and he was like, "I owe you an apology." I was like, "You don't owe me anything. I'm over it." After he hung up the phone with his conversation or whatever, I was dating someone and I called him and I just started crying, boo-hooing. And he asked me, he says, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Well, I told him." He called me and he told me it was over. He said, it's not over, or you wouldn't still be crying. You needed that closure. So he says, whatever you need to do, finish it and close it. So I forgave him. We talked. We have 3 kids together. So
Yeah.
it's no need in fighting back and forth. He's changed. I've changed because both of us, it's been 16 years now.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have to take accountability. I realized I wasn't the greatest all the time, and neither was he. But you don't know that when you're in your 20s, and then you're in your 30s, and you're trying to raise kids, and you're trying to pay bills, and you're thinking that fine woman over there gonna do what she didn't do. But you find out it's not like that. That
Yeah,
grass
yeah.
is not greener, and the same for a woman. It is
Yeah.
not greener.
Right.
So you really should stay where you are and try to work it through.
Well,
It's not greener.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah.
and not only is it not greener, and which is a lesson that I had to learn. Not only is it not greener, but your soul gets diminished when you lie and you cheat. There's a part of you that is diminished every time you do it, and one day you look up and you can't even look in the mirror, because
Right.
you're just the real you, the spiritual you has died.
Right. That's why it's called soul ties. I don't know if
Yeah.
people believe in that, but when you're giving your body away and sleeping
Yeah.
with different people, you are connected to those people. So if they have bad spirits, the bad spirits are
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You
Yeah.
get a piece of them, and I really believe that.
Well, yeah, and it is,
I believe in them.
but we are so easily attracted to things to temptations of the eye and temptations of
Right.
the ear and of the flesh. We are, and it is. You have to have a level of maturity to understand that those things are they're death. They're pretty. They're pretty death, but they are death nevertheless.
Well, and with social media, it's more, it's so prevalent right now. It's like when I was growing up, I'm not ashamed of my age, I'm a Gen X.
Right.
So we didn't have social media. We had to pass notes, call on the phone, walk. You had your
Yeah.
parents to run interference, But now social media is so accessible. You have women, and this is my pet peeve. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but you have women showing your breasts, showing your butt. Really, you are attracting someone, but you're not attracting them for the long term. You're attracting them to get what they can, and then that's the end of it. That's how I feel. That's just my opinion.
Well, no,
Right.
I
And
would
then
say that's
men
pretty
doing the same
factual.
thing.
I would say that's
But
pretty factual.
yeah, I probably might lose some people on that.
Well, no, but
yeah.
let me tell you this. So this Saturday I was at the Mojo Brooks
I
comedy show, and he's so funny.
so funny.
But I love when he really he opened up with, and he stayed on for a minute. He was like, "Okay, ladies, he was talking about, he's like, love yourself, y'all get these BBLs, breasts, he was like, he was just talking about, appreciating a natural woman's body. I'm not going to go into all of it, but it was just, it was great, and so, because women do need to start loving themselves. I could always felt that, when you get all this work done, and I get it if you had breast cancer, we're not talking about, there's always an exclusion, right? An exception to the rule,
Extenuating
yeah, it's
circumstance.
extenuating circumstance. But, if you're just doing it because you're just wanting to do it, because you see a lot of girls now who are, wanting to get pregnant, have kids, and they got to take out the butt pads, they got to take out the the breast implants, and the skin is stretched, and so it's a whole nother thing, But yeah, just we as women definitely do need to love ourselves, so we're not making the doctors richer.
Right, and then listen to the men. A lot of men that I talk to are like, they like natural. I got my little eyelashes, but
yeah, I know, but I see it.
But a lot of the men like natural,
Yeah,
and
they
they'll
do.
tell you, "Hey, I like the natural hair. I like to see, the
we got
natural."
our audience,
Okay,
our-
we got an audience
yeah,
member
Audience in
there.
the back
Yes.
is
Yeah,
just,
natural. Yeah,
that's
I
true.
know that's right.
But it makes
natural.
it makes a difference. Now, question, because we not to say we got off, but I wanted to come back to your books for a second because you have different genres, right?
Right.
So you have poetry, then you have fiction, and so mystery.
Yeah,
so,
mystery. I took liberty in my first novel. It's
So what was your first novel?
my very first one is Gemini Echo. So it's a
Let me see that.
romance. It's a
romance.
romance,
Okay.
cozy romance, murder, mystery. So I took a little liberty with some characters.
right,
I didn't say I'm healed, but still I can do fiction.
right.
So I have a fascination with twins. So I wrote about Haviland and Hadassah Cloud. Haviland is the main character in there, and she's battling with choosing between her present love and her past love, because that always happens. You get
Yes.
settled, and here comes back the one that you say, "Hey, I'm over with," and here he's back. So Kai and Sinclair are her love interests, and then
Okay.
murder happens in the book, and it's a little
Some
twist
deceit
to it.
and some
Yeah.
insane.
Me,
Okay.
I'm
And I
That
made up
happens
a
in the
fictional
book.
town.
Yeah, because I saw that.
The first one.
Yeah. Okay.
And
neat.
I look at my books and I'm like, I can tell my babies are getting bigger and better.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. Yeah. And so, so with coming up with the fiction, then, how long does it take you to, one, cultivate what it is? I mean, are you driving down the street and you're like, oh yeah, that, doing, an auto note to remind yourself of the idea, the thought, like where does the, when it's fiction, where's it coming from?
Okay. Writers will know. Our characters talk to us.
Okay.
So you're a writer, you're a poet if you're up in the middle of the night and you're hearing a voice. So like with my poetry, if I need to write, I have my phone and I do a notepad so I don't forget, because when the words come out, I have to put the words the way they come out.
Right.
Now with my fiction, I have characters talking to me, and once they start talking and I start seeing the scenes, I actually just get in my bedroom and I write. People are called, "What are you doing?" I am writing because I will forget. Although I outline and I do what I'm supposed to do, sometimes a character, they go a different way than what I'm thinking because they become real to you.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So remember, what movie was that where he was writing, well, it's an older movie. Now I'm going to tell my age, but he was a writer and he was
Want me to tell it
writing.
for you?
Yeah. And the police were coming and it was a mystery murder, but we thought it was a book, but it was really him going through the town murdering the people. You remember what that movie was?
I know which one it is.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah,
I
Johnny
remember
Depp.
which
And that
one.
was a very good movie where we were like, I'm in it, And then even with Kathy Bates, where she was,
Oh,
where
yes,
she was writing the book,
Misery.
Misery. So yeah, so I love that you say that the characters speak to you, and then you they can take off and go their own way.
They speak to you, or like my current work of fiction, a life incident had happened.
And it brought
So
about.
that one, it took 3 years because I started writing based on a death, and so it was going to be Cinnamon because she's without her mother, and her mother. So it was based on my granddaughter, actually, who lost her mother.
Gotcha.
And so the characters came about the grandmother, great grandmother, but I couldn't figure out where I was going to go with it. And fast forward to 3 years later, August of 2025, my grandmother passed. And so that was the catalyst where I knew what Delaney was going to be in the book because she's a protagonist in the book. She was Cinnamon's mother, Ginger's best friend. And so I was able to create and finish Maris Noires through that experience.
Gotcha.
Triggered by grief
Yeah,
or whatever,
exactly,
but it's supernatural and it's a whole mystery in there about how people deal with grief, really supernatural because everybody, it manifests in a different way. And so in this book, it manifests supernatural through a town. And so it's secrets
Gotcha.
that you find through Cinnamon's eyes.
Gotcha. And so, so my condolences to you and the family for the loss of your grandmother. Do you, I heard you say there was a pause because you're like, hey, I don't know where this is going. So do you put the writing down and then do you start another one or, okay, you do, okay, so.
Yeah, I'm writing. So the name of that book originally was Cinnamon Blaze, but once I started writing and the land became a character in the book, I was like, no, if it's going to be Southern Gothic, I had to change the name. However, I started with this book, and this book was easier to write because of the circumstances I was going through. So it took me about almost a year to write that, 9 months. And then Blueprint, which is my urban drama based on Genesis, it took me 5 months to write. The editing is a different process. Editing is very hard. But that story came so fast. It was unreal because I just wrote and wrote and wrote.
Right, because you're just, it was.
Because I could see it and I could see
You're
that.
like, let me just get all this out.
So do you, as a rule, because I know there are exceptions, especially for creative artists, but as a rule, do you come up with a title first and then write, or do you write and then come up with a title?
Usually I try to come up with a title first so I can kind of gear myself towards the book. Which one's changed? Cypress changed. Reflections changed. Because Reflections was supposed to be Kaleidoscope, and then Kaleidoscope didn't come out until this past August of 2025. But yeah, normally it changes. The books I'm looking at right now, their names are, because I'm writing two different ones. I'm writing a rom-com, a romantic comedy, and then I'm writing another supernatural horror. I found I like that genre.
Right, that's good. So that's good, and you know it's your calling.
My other thing is just because I suffer from this. Is I got a lot of things that I have written that I need to publish. But how do you know when you're done? How do you know when you're done? Because I'll write something, and then I'll go back through it, and and then I'll go back through it again, and so how do you know when you're done?
I know when I'm getting to the finish line because I'm like, oh, okay, this is as far as they can go. And then you can do a standalone, or you can do one that ends on a cliffhanger, because that one has a second part coming out, Blueprint Bloodlines. I was like, okay, this is enough for this, but this is enough to leave people like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? And that's what I've gotten from the people. They're like, when is the second part to Blueprint coming out? I'm like, I'm working on it.
So going back to your beginnings, like maybe not about, God is awesome. So, he put some amazing people in your life to help you with the launch, right? You have the editor, you have the graphic design artist. So you have a lot of these people in place. So if a person doesn't have those type of people in their life, I don't want to say resources, because if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. But if a person doesn't have those people in place, what would they do, or how would they go about it? Like, what would you suggest to a person who wants to get started?
Go online, find writers' workshops. You got to go where readers are, right? So go to the libraries, because they always have workshop. I'm a big proponent of going to the library, go to book festivals around, meet authors. You have to swim in, I always say, you have to swim in a pond with the fishes that you want to be around, right?
Right.
So that's what I suggest. I have people that reach out to me that ask for help. I will help them. I will push them in the right direction. To get them started, because some of the things that hold people back from what and even me, is the fear of putting your work out there, because now you're opening yourself up to, you're being
For critics.
vulnerable. I always can't say that word. Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are scared of that. And I always tell people, well, Jesus was perfect and he was judged. So
Right. Yeah.
so if you have a calling to put it out, do that, because it may help one person. If you help one person,
Right. Then that's you made a
you've
difference.
done a difference.
Yeah, you made a
And
difference,
don't
yeah.
change your creativity because somebody needs to hear that.
Right.
You know,
Walk
I always
walk within your light. Yeah.
right, because somebody needs to hear that. Like I said, when I put that book out, I didn't think nobody wanted to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear what, hear that poetry or what I was going through, but amazingly, people do. I joke with my cousin; she does quilting, but she may find her. I might put out a book about quilting. Who knows? It might go best selling because I know somebody quilts.
Right, and
it's
how the
a
quilt
quilting-
strangled them in the night and took over, and it was a secret in the quilt. I mean, I don't know.
No, yes, but
but you
it's
just never
something
know,
for
yeah.
everybody, because it's
Killer
all
quilt,
kind of genres.
Yeah. The quilt that got passed down, and yeah.
That's right.
So then, so I love it. So now, and you don't have to answer this, but like, are you a full-time writer, or do you still work? I mean,
I have to work,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately.
man.
I'm getting closer to where I feel like that I won't be working, and hopefully it'll be writing, because things have, they've started picking up more with the sales and more with the appearances on my poetry, because the poetry side is different from the author side.
Right.
And then I threw my head into music. I turned some of my poetry into music, so now I'm on the music side. So,
Wow. So there's a lot that can happen with the poetry. And I love that. And I guess in a perfect world, I mean, what is the number of books that you have? What's the goal you have for yourself? I mean, because I hear all this music and poetry and more books. I mean, is there a novel? Like what's next? Like where are you pushing yourself to?
Writing. I love writing. I mean, to be honest, I used to write in junior high. My dad was military, so back in the 70s when I grew up, yes.
Wow, back then, what was it like? No, I'm saying, no.
Back in the 1900s.
Well, see,
In the
somebody
1970s.
else is getting it besides me.
It was great, and being with a military family, my mother and father, we didn't watch a lot of TV. We'd go to the mall, and they'd take us to the bookstore. So I had a love for reading. I'd read Nancy Drew, Madeline Elaine, forbidden books. The Nancy Drew, Judy Blume, yes. Nancy Drew. We read. It's like I really didn't watch TV. We were outside, so I always had
we was
love.
outside because I'm not a TV watcher. So when people try to tell me about stuff, I'm like,
We had the
don't
Reading
know.
Rainbow
yeah.
with LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I was born in the 70s. I just like to act like I don't know about it.
Girl, we was the best.
I'm at the other, yeah. Well, I'm
See what?
I really did.
But see, and I'm older. What we had was Schoolhouse Rock.
I had Schoolhouse Rock. A bill is still a bill.
Hey, hey.
yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
Junction,
What's your function?
Yeah, I watched that
Talking
too.
up words and phrases and clauses.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
we had, I believe, we had a thirst to learn.
Yes.
To acquire knowledge, because it was always pushed on me. Like, I'd always be like, oh God, I'm reading books, but then like when I stayed with my grandmother, she had me in piano. I was in gymnastics. I know how to play the clarinet, the flute. we had to learn. I had to learn. I had to read.
Right.
Yeah, so
And that's-
yeah,
and that's a
how
good
it
thing.
manifests.
Well,
yeah.
So-
let me encourage those people out there that have young children, even grandchildren. Encourage them to read.
Yeah.
Reading it develops your imagination. It develops your perspective. It
Yes.
develops your vocabulary. I was a reader, but I was not I knew about Nancy Drew and them, but I was mysteries and then Marvel. I would read
yeah,
Perry
definitely
Mason.
Marvel.
I would read stuff like that. I would read James Bond. I would read that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when Marvel Comics came out, I was hooked.
Right.
In fact, the second I saw the word adamantium, I was hooked. I knew it didn't exist, but that word was cool.
Right.
But just reading helped to develop my imagination.
Right.
My awareness,
Right.
my sensitivity to things. So just please encourage your young people, people in your life to read, to pick up a book, and not just not just scroll social media for memes or quotes. It actually to read, because
Exercise
they
your
will
mind.
they will be much more well rounded. They will be able to communicate with people that they don't agree with, because these are all the things that reading encourage. That it allows you to do something like what you've done. Because if you had not read, you can't give what you don't have. So if you had
Right.
not read, you would not be able to be an author.
And even
Right.
even now I read because I don't know who. Oh, the producer. She came in. Is that your book? No, I was reading someone else's book, because when I go to the different book fairs, I read, because you have to read to keep up with, like, not so much the trends, but to see how other people write. So I still actively read.
Is there a certain style that you like to? I mean, those are genres, but is there a certain style that you like to write in? Or?
Well, the hardest for me to write is first person. I think that's, for me, it's the hardest. And I like to write in first person, but sometimes you can kind of lose stuff in first person, because you're just looking at it from from that person's perspective. But the third person, you're able to get all of the characters involved and show perspectives. So
Yeah.
I prefer first person. It's harder, and the edits are harder.
So let's get to the edits, because you were like, that's like, so what happens during editing? Are they throwing it back at you? Or,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, and my editor's like, excuse me, Joy, a whip master. Because, like, in poetry, I write, because poetry, I don't have to be grammatically correct. I can put the dots
Right.
or put what, and she'd ask me, so did you mean to have 4 dots? Yes, that's how I wrote it. I don't want it. I don't want it changed. Well, is this really? When people are reading this, they may read it this way or that way. Okay, poetry, I got over it. But this book, the very first book, I never thought we'd get out of edits. She was in Tanzania, and she was doing the editing, and she sent me like little screenshots of what she was looking at. I'm like, okay, it sounded right to me. No, does it really? Because it's different types of editing. It's the developmental editing, and then it's the line editing. And so they do the overall to read it, to make sure it goes together, the developmental, and then the line editing. The line editing kills, because I'm reading how I'm writing, and then I'm missing something, right?
So developmental editing deals more with plot and
Continuity.
outcome continuity.
Continuity, making sure that when Genesis goes to the car, you know how she got to the car.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I know everything she done but you as a reader is like,
How did she get there?
How'd she get there?
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
I missed the part. Yeah. So the continuity, making spirit, the spelling, making sure the story fits, and then it goes right. And then you even have beta readers and alpha readers, and the alpha readers are the same. They read like to make sure the overall, and then you have the alpha readers are the overall, and then the betas are like, hey, they're like the fans reading and like, this is good.
Right.
And I always have beta readers and the alpha readers. So if something isn't making sense, I will go back and rewrite because like they'll tell me they have questions or something's missing from the character, you need to add this or that. I listen and I go back and I rewrite to make sure it's a complete story. So I think that's why that one got nominated for a Global Literary Award. And Blueprint did, and then the Phoenix Heart won an international poetry award. So the book's out in London and Lagos, and this one right now submitted for the African Laureate Award.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So I was sitting here thinking while you was talking about that. I was like, if I wrote a book, they wouldn't know because my brain is all over the place. I just
It would be like, today I'm going to wait. How did you be?
Right.
Like what happened? How did where did that? So it wouldn't go together. So I definitely
Oh well, I'm not saying all of mine goes together. Like this rom-com I'm writing is like I see all of this and then I'm going back. And then you wonder, is it keeping attention? Is it boring? Is it this? Is it that?
Right.
But yeah.
I would think that for me, I would think a rom-com would be the most difficult thing to write because
I'm naturally funny.
Well,
There you go.
Well,
I know,
was gonna say, how do you keep romance funny yet allow it
Are
to
you
be
kidding me?
substantial? Well, not what. I'm just let me finish my
Right,
question.
she's like-
Because romance, it's easy to make romance funny.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
part is easy.
yeah, it could
I'm
be a
saying,
big
how
joke.
do you keep it funny and keep it substantial? Because at a point, that, you know, the
Right.
you know what I'm saying, the funny is has to give way to something more. If it's you know,
You're gonna as far as my rom-com and some of the ones that I've read, you have to sprinkle in just like the regular romance dramas. You're gonna have a little bit of tension and drama. Mine is
Right.
okay,
but
well, yeah.
based on comedy, because the character's a comic. She's a comedian. Taryn is that's her name. Taryn is the character in the book. So. She's very comedic, and she has a friend, Keisha, who's a comic and very comedic. So with the little situations that are happening with her people, as of now, the book is called The Dayton Chronicles, but it may be changed.
change.
It may be
change.
changed
It may
by
change,
the
yeah.
time
But,
it's
yeah.
put out.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because dating is,
It's
all the
funny
things,
if you
it's
think
definitely,
about it.
all the things, it's ha, it's hilarious. No.
well,
Yeah,
See,
some of the time,
and-
yeah.
and see, to me,
How much?
How do you come up with the name of the characters?
You know that is the hardest thing sometimes. Like like in Gemini Echoes, Sinclair came from Living Single. I was watching. I was like, what the hell am I gonna name this guy? And Sinclair came on, even though we know Sinclair was a woman on Living Single. I just kind of hear the names. And I try to make sure some of the names I already have, because like in Whispers in the Cypress, I just knew I was going to have a character name.
Bonquisha?
Delaney. No. No, they're in the 70s. So this is back in the 70s.
See, I was trying to crack a joke. No.
Yes, you did good. And I just,
if you put
just
her in a
knew.
book, I'll know.
Bonquisha.
Yeah.
I may have because of you. And then I'm going to have to send you a message. I put Bonquisha in the book.
no, it could be the
but-
Boquisha Chronicles.
Yeah, but finding the names is like Genesis. Her name really meant something in her book, and then I already knew, like in Whispers in the Cypress, it was going to be anise, juniper, cinnamon. What are all of those?
Spices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it deals with their powers that they
Yeah.
have. So I already knew that was going to be. I just didn't know like the other names. And Taraya came up. This was a character that I didn't even know was going to be in the book. She came up, and she's a spice, but she has powers. So
Do you think it's important to match names with personalities?
yes, most definitely.
Yeah, because
I'm definitely a Charlemagne. I know it.
And
Yeah.
you're Charlemagne. Shalimar.
you are.
Yes, I am.
You are. You know. I think everybody everybody back there is their name fits them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody back there in the audience, their name fits them.
It has to.
Now-
Como se llama?
See, I knew it was coming. See, I was gonna say now whether Juan actually fits me or not is still debatable. See,
I was like, who is Juan?
see? You know, so I'm one of those.
No, I'm just
I'm one of those. I guess enigmas or whatever. My father was because I'm a baby boomer. I'm pre Gen X, so so my father liked that was a picture in the I guess San Francisco Giants, and then he went somewhere else. His name was Juan Marichal, and he had a very unique pitch. His leg kicked way up in the air every time he threw the ball, so he was very unique. And why he named me after him, I don't know. But it has been, and people want to change my name all the time. You're John. You're not Juan. Well,
not what my birth certificate says.
which is one of the many reasons that the name of the show is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and Jr. See,
Yeah.
One of the many, because if I had said Charlemagne and Juan, I think it would have been. It's too long. It's too many letters.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that names matching personalities is really important. So I know that have you ever had to change a person's name after you developed a character?
I had to give them a real name. Because like in Genesis, because it's a urban drama, so they have street names, and one of my characters called Blink, because he'll kill you before you can blink. And I was like, oh man, I had to get this man a name, like a real name when I started associating stuff, and it was kind of hard to make sure that his name corresponded with his
character
persona.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it's very difficult. But it worked out in the end. I think
So, any last question, Charlie? Because the clock is ticking on us.
We got to get back. Well, I just want to say that I love the fact that I'm all about girls rule the world. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, wait. I need a
Barnes and Nobles.
Yes,
See, luckily I had a guy in the audience that would give me some bro love. See?
Yes. But just my hats off to you because it's just so awesome, so amazing. Just because. One day I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna have like short chapters of different things, like how I went here. But I love that they say when you turn 50, you should write a book. So we got a couple of authors in the room. When I get to 50, before I get out of my 60s.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say I think it's a little late.
Oh. Shots fired.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, see, usually
I'm
the brunt of the old jokes on the show, so that's all right though. I'm still standing.
Right.
But thank you for bringing. And I
having
want to see this cover. I didn't get to see it.
Oh, okay. Let me take that. That's Kaleidoscope.
This is Kaleidoscope. Okay.
The Phoenix series. That's the one that went up for NAACP Image in 2025.
Okay.
That is so awesome.
But Marcine, thank you for sharing
Thank
your
y'all for having me.
Yeah, this is fun.
your walk and your work and just thank you very very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she's got a good handshake.
Yes, she did.
From my daddy, I get it from my daddy.
So anyway, although our producer is not spinning her finger,
I know normally
the clock
she'd be
on the
like-
wall does. We don't have to go home. In fact, I'm not, but we do have to get the hell out of here. So,
Right.
And thank you, Facebook family. Thank you, TikTok family. Thank y'all for hanging with us, and thank you for watching every week. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, audience. Y'all kind of gave
We
us
had a whole
And
audience.
y'all please
Yeah,
go to
thank
Barnes
you.
and Nobles and support her. Check out the books.
Yes.
And yes, you will.
So, are you doing appearing anywhere that people can
Oh my
find
gosh!
you? Or
Yes, I just
Book
did 3
signing.
appearances this past weekend. Well, tomorrow I'm doing poetry at the Daiquiri Shop in Fort Worth, and then I have I have another book fair, but this one is in Tennessee, and then I'll be in the Austin area in June and New Orleans in June.
no? Okay.
So y'all need to go to the Daiquiri Shop in Fort Worth.
Off
Is there only
McCart.
off of Clark?
Off McCart, I'm doing poetry
McCart.
tomorrow. Yes,
What is it
off
called?
off
McCart.
McCart. It's called
McCart?
the DAC shop. I'll be there tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Doing
Okay.
poetry.
What time?
At 8:00, and it's some more
PM?
amazing. Yes,
Okay.
PM. Yes, and then they have R&B.
No, I just
Yeah.
There's an AM and a
Blitz.
PM. I just
Some of my fellow poets be there, Blitz, and some more poets that I know
Neat.
from the scene. Because every thing
Yeah.
has a community. So it'll be some awesome poetry tomorrow.
Okay.
R&B bingo.
Okay.
Oh, R&B. Okay,
can-
that might be fun to go check
say-
out.
Yeah.
We
you
may
say- yeah.
do a pop-up.
Yeah,
you know.
might have to do a pop up.
You know, Fort Worth is like like I have to take snacks and stuff to get there. You know, it's a little bit of a drive, you know.
But Charlie, go ahead and take us out.
Okay, y'all. Make sure you love yourself so you can love somebody else. And
And we will
See
see
you
you next
next
week.
week.
See, same facts time, same facts channel. Take care, y'all. And again, thank you for hanging with us.
Bye,
Thank you for
y'all.
watching. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Hey, this is Charlie. This is JR. Host of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. Broadcasting live each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to